views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
You are now watching the Alan and DJ Show.
Yo, 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 Milwaukee, Sun Prairie, and all the surrounding areas. Y'all know what time this is. It's time for the Alan and DJ TV show program, man. And I'm Alan.
And this is your boy, DJ.
And we got a very special guest with us today. It's one of the chiefs out here in the Sun Prairie Fire Department, and his name would be?
Chief Reese. What's up? What's up, Alan DJ fans? Let's go.
Hey, man, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Dude, I'm pumped, man. Sun's shining. You guys are here. This is great.
Yeah, no, we caught some great shots. Oh, man, it's going down, man. It's going down. So,
I love it.
I want to get off into the first question that I have for you, of course. How long have you been a fire chief?
Yeah, good question. So I've been a fire chief less than a year, just went through a promotion process about a year ago, and so relatively new to this position, but I love the fire service, and it's awesome.
Nice. And I'm going to kick it on over to DJ.
Thank you. All right. What inspired you to become a firefighter?
Oh, man, that's such a good question. Well, early in my career, I spent some time in the military, and so I've always loved the camaraderie, the training. We get our hands dirty.
Okay.
But the thing that I love the most is this is probably the most tangible way you can help somebody. Okay. So it could be the worst day of their life. We get to show up and we make it just a little bit better.
Okay. Like, what infantry? Like, was you in like the Army, Navy, Marines?
Yeah, no. So I joined the Army because I was like many high school seniors, I wanted to go to college, but I didn't have any money. And they had this recruiter that was like, "Hey, man, if you sign here, we'll give you money for college." So I joined the Army, and then I was an infantry guy, and then most of the time was in the National Guard here in Wisconsin. But it paid for all my school, so I'm very grateful.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right,
Sweet. I love it, Chief. I love it. So I have another question for you.
All right.
We just find them off with questions and everything, but it's all good though. So how do you contribute to the fire department? Like, how do you assign jobs for each person on your team?
Oh, yeah, that's another good question. So I know I gave you guys a quick tour of our trucks, and each position, each seat on the truck has a different job. So obviously the person who's driving the apparatus, their job is everything in and around the vehicle. They need to know how it all operates, get us to the scene safe, get us water at the pump, raise the ladders. So the driver's super important. Nice. Then you've got the what we call our truck boss, and that's going to be the person in the right front. Okay. So that'd be kind of that front passenger seat. They're going to be looking at a computer, getting details on the call, relaying that information back to the firefighters in the rear. And then the guys in the back, they're the real heroes because they're the ones who do all the real work. They're standing over there, all buff, looking good. But those guys are the ones that, depending on the type of call, they're going to be going in first to a fire, doing search and rescue, getting water on the fire. If it's a car accident, they're going to be grabbing the tools to, cut somebody out of a car. Or if it's a simple medical call, they might be the first ones doing chest compressions, getting CPR started so we can keep somebody alive until the ambulance gets there. So depending on the person's seat and where their skill level is, the job sort of changes, and it depends on what they got going on.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, man, hey, look, I love that. And I was looking at some of the trucks yesterday and the education that we got on some of the trucks as far as like the water pressure on like how much some of them hold like so many amount of gallons of water. So like if you want to explain that to us for a little bit, like different trucks, because I know one said it could fill up a big swimming pool.
Yeah, so there's Sun Prairie is kind of unique because we have a big city that we have to protect, but we also have a big rural area, and we have a big stretch of highway. So the types of calls that we run are very unique. Some departments where they might just have one specific truck that only does a specific job because their area is quite small. So we have to have a lot of different pieces of equipment for our area. So like you were taking a look at one of our ladder trucks earlier.
Yeah.
Ladder truck's designed to have a big ladder on it, right? Somebody's strapped up high. We got to get that ladder up there and rescue them. It's going to have the least amount of water on it versus what we call our fire engine.
Okay.
Fire engine is primarily, hey, we're fire tech. Big fire, we want the engine there. It's got a big pump on it. It's going to be pushing a lot of water onto that fire. And then we also have what we call our rule engines. So once you're outside the city, you don't see those red things called fire hydrants anymore. They're not out there. So we have to bring our water with us. So the one that fills that big swimming pool, we call that our tender. It's got 3,000 gallons on it, and so we're going to bring all that water with us. But what's amazing about that is even that's not a lot, because you think about our ladder truck, if we get that thing hooked up, we can pump 1,500 gallons a minute if we're maxed out. Like that'd be flowing a lot, right? But typically off the stick, we're pushing 800-900 gallons. Okay. We only have 500 gallons on that truck. So we better have that hydrant hooked up quick, because we're going to run out of water. So on a normal like barn fire, house fire, I mean, we might be doing 10, 15 tender loads. So that's 3,000 gallons per water dump just to get that fire out. It's a lot.
Yeah, man. That's a lot. And I'm going to kick the bucket back to DJ.
All right, thank you. What are some of the risks when dealing with fire equipment and fires on top of that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is obviously a risky job. So when something goes bad, typically the first responders, so police, EMS, and firefighters, we're going to the dangerous scene or the dangerous environment. So there's a lot of risks involved with that. Specifically for fire, you guys ever been around a campfire?
Yeah.
And that smoke gets in your eyes? Does that feel good? No. And it's worse than a house, because a house is full of plastic. You ever seen plastic burn? It's black, nasty smoke. So that's super, super dangerous. So the most important thing for us is we got to be able to breathe.
Yep.
Like breathing fresh air is super important. If you can't breathe fresh air, you're not going to last real long. So the most important tool that we bring with us is what we call our SCBA. Okay. And so it's like it looks like a scuba tank essentially. Big tank on your back.
Oh, okay.
You have a mask on, seals up everything, and so then you can breathe fresh air in a real nasty environment. Okay. And then the clothes that we wear, it's like wearing a giant snowsuit essentially, but it's going to protect you from the heat. You're going to get hot at the same time, but if we're in and out quick enough, and if we have the proper gear on, that's going to protect us from getting burned.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's risky.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, do you worry about your equipment malfunctioning at any time, like the fire truck or like the ladder malfunctioning or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we do every single shift is we'll do what we call our truck checks. And so every piece of equipment, we're going to turn the truck on, we're going to operate the pumps, we're going to check all of our SCBAs, those self-contained breathing apparatus in the back of the trucks. Every individual firefighter will make sure their gear is all set. So it's very repetitive, but we check it and check it and check it every single shift, because like you said, we don't want to find out something's busted. Yeah. You know, when I'm inside of a burning house and I don't want to breathe in smoke and my SCBA isn't working right. That's not when I want to figure that out.
That's the recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that's not good.
Absolutely. I'm gonna kick the mic back off to Al.
All right. So I got another question for you, Chief.
Okay.
So when you guys preparing for a fire, so what safety measures do you use, you and your team, when preparing for a fire? Like when you guys get that call, say, it's a big fire, like what kind of measures do you guys take?
Yeah, sometimes it's tough because we don't have a lot of information. So sometimes when that 911 comes in, we're reading on our CAD, which is a computer system that sends us the information from Dane County's dispatch. We may not know how big the house is. We don't know how bad the fire is. So we kind of have to be prepared for anything. But, through experience and on your way to a call, you start start to learn what neighborhoods are and what addresses there are, and if it's a commercial property, you're kind of running through those scenarios in your brain. But the most important thing is just, we break up the jobs. So like I talk about the people in the back, they have a very specific job, and then the truck boss or the person who's in command, they want to have a big picture. We're going to get a 360, so we want to walk around that building, get an idea of what we're dealing with.
For sure.
That person isn't going to be involved in the operations part. Their job is to be, hey, I got to keep everybody safe.
Yeah.
I got to take a step back, take a deep breath, and that communication, hey, what's everybody need to be doing? That's super, super important. So that's how we mitigate, the risks.
Okay.
Best we can. I mean, things can go bad, but when we have buddy systems too, we don't want people doing anything by themselves. That's a big deal. And we work together as a team and honestly just communicate early and often as to what's going on.
Okay, gotcha. And then what happens if if the fire is really, really bad? So you guys get there for an example and you're like, whoa, you're like, well, we really got a big one on our hands. How do you guys handle that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So our number one priority is always life safety.
Okay.
So if let's say half the house is on fire and we're not sure if everybody's out,
For sure.
First thing we're going to do is we want to do a search. We want to get our firefighters in there, search that building to make sure there's no victims in there.
Gotcha.
But if it's a fire that's completely huge, there's probably not survivable space in that building. And before, as we're getting our operations set up, we're going to use our mutual aid box system. So all the surrounding departments, we all help each other.
Gotcha.
So we don't have enough manpower, enough equipment to fight a giant fire by ourselves. So I'd call comm center and I would activate what we call a box alarm. And so then that's going to send tones out to the surrounding communities on our cards that says, hey, we need a ladder truck from Cottage Grove. We need an engine from Madison. We need tenders from Columbus. So we all work together collectively as a community and support each other if something, really bad pops off.
Agree. Well, I'm going to kick it right back to DJ. DJ.
Thank you. All right. So what are your standards for your department?
Oh man, standards. That's a very basic question for a long list of things. Personally, like if we're talking specifically about hiring people and bringing people on, or if we want people who want to join the fire department, the first thing I look for is you got to have somebody who has a servant's heart and they want to help. You don't get into this job because you're going to make a lot of money. You don't get into this job because, it's glamorous or you're going to sit behind a desk. That's just not it. You're going to get dirty. You're going to get super sweaty. You're going to get stinky. And you deal with a lot of situations that sometimes can be kind of gross. Think about some of the medical calls. Human bodies are gross, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I need somebody who truly cares and their main goal is to help each other. Sure. And they have to want to support their citizens. They have to want to do what's right. So that's the number one thing that I look for. Number two is it's a very physical job. So you have to be in relatively good shape. Okay. You're going to carry heavy stuff. You're going to move, have you ever had to move a person that's unconscious or can't move themselves?
Yeah.
It's super, super hard, right? And so they have to be able to physically do that to be successful. Okay. Not just for the citizen, but for their fellow firefighter too. Because I don't need somebody going down and then they're a victim. So you got to have a servant's heart. You got to be physically fit. And then you have to be coachable and you got to be willing to learn because it's a never-ending process. Things are changing all the time.
What type of training do you put them through as far as physical training? Do they have to go to a gym a certain amount of times a week, or do you have drills that you put them through here?
We do, yeah. So there's no requirement on how many times somebody has to go to the gym, but we have some friendly competitions. We have some friendly, and I stress friendly. But if you got a guy like Dwayne who's showing us all up, you kind of feel bad, so that motivates you to want to get to the gym. Yeah. But we do a lot of physical training, and we'll simulate a lot of the things that we might have to do on a call. Okay. That functional fitness. You'll see us out here hitting a hammer on a tire or flipping that tire over or dragging Rescue Randy, which is like a rescue dummy, putting all our gear on.
Randy.
Yeah, Rescue Randy. But one of the most important things is just putting your gear on because you get so hot.
Yeah.
And when you get hot, your heart rate gets jacked up, so you have to have good cardio, or you put yourself at risk of a cardiac event. So a lot of those things we do, all the time. And then we encourage people to eat healthy, and we cook meals together and do all kinds of things to create those healthy habits.
Yeah, that's nice. It's like just taking family away from family.
Yeah, there's a little, that healthy competition, but also like we try to call each other out. Like, hey, Reese, you probably don't need that cookie. And I'm like, I want that cookie. And they're like, no, you don't need that cookie. Stuff like that. And then I still eat the cookie, so don't tell them.
No, I'm going to kick the mic back off to Al.
All right. We're going to wrap it up pretty soon. So with the last question that I have for you is fire extinguishers, like how are they categorized by class? So fire extinguishers are used for what, for like each class?
Yeah, this is a question that I think is super important for people because most people don't understand that there's different types of fire extinguishers. So the most basic type, and it's one that we're going to have on all of our trucks, is essentially a can that's pressurized and it's full of water, but we put a foam mixture in there.
Okay.
And that foam, so if you spray water onto like a burning pile of wood, it's just wood, it's going to put the fire out.
Right.
But if there's some sort of fuel or if there's some sort of oil or chemical on that wood, that water may not do the job. And so that foam, it creates a different chemical reaction and it helps us smother the fire.
Okay.
So that's one type. So that's sort of what we would call like a wet fire extinguisher because it has water or some sort of wet substance in it.
Nice.
And then you have a dry fire extinguisher. So in the movies, have you ever seen them spray a fire extinguisher and a big cloud of powder comes out? So that's a dry fire extinguisher, right? And so what's special about those is if it's an electrical fire, what do you not want to put on electricity? Water. It's usually not that good, right? Yeah. So that type of dry chemical is going to prevent any kind of electrical problem.
Nice.
All right. And then there's another type of fire extinguisher that's just for flammable metals. That's a pretty unique one. So certain metals, when they catch on fire, they're hard to put out. And sometimes if you spray water on it, it actually makes it worse and it starts to explode. And I know you're a YouTube guy, so you got to look up YouTube videos of people spraying water on like parts on a brake.
Sure.
Brake, your rotors and your brake pads, there's a chemical in those brake pads. Once that chemical starts on fire, you spray water on it, it starts to explode. So that's bad. So that's another type of fire extinguisher. But I think most people, what they have in their house, you see the red one, right? It's going to be a dry chemical fire extinguisher because you can use that for just about anything.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured that. I'm going to kick it over to DJ for the last one.
All right. How big is y'all ladders?
Oh man, we have a lot of different ladders. So our smallest ladder is going to be what we call our attic ladder, and that's probably the smallest one that we carry on our trucks. And that one, if you have it folded up, you want me to have them grab it? Would that be good?
Yeah,
guys,
absolutely.
If we want, can we just walk over to the ladder truck and we can look at them quick?
We can do that.
All right, let's do that. We're gonna take a little field trip. Yeah, so this is a real special ladder. So if you ever seen an old home and you see how you get them to that attic, you see that little crawl space or that little hole in the ceiling. Well, a big ladder obviously isn't going to fit in there, but we still got to get up there. So this is a folding ladder that's designed to collapse so we can carry it into a house, stick it up into that attic, and then we're going to find the smallest guy to climb that ladder to get up in there. Big guys up in the attic, it's not that good.
Yeah, especially I've been fell back.
So this would be our smallest ladder, and then obviously if you look on the back of the truck, you see them labeled here.
Okay.
So we have all kinds of different ladders. So there's
Get close up here.
there's a 14-foot roof ladder. So this one has hooks on it. So if I'm up on a roof, I'm going to throw that over the peak of the roof. Those hooks are going to grab, so that ladder's not going to move. Then we have a 24-foot extension ladder. That's probably the most common ladder that you're going to have on a fire truck or on a fire engine. And then if you go over here, we got some other ones. We got an 18-foot roof ladder. Same concept. It's got hooks on it. It's going to hook on a roof, but if it's a bigger roof, I need a longer ladder. And then a 16-foot, same thing. And then we have the big one, the 30-foot extension ladder. And then we got a real big ladder up on top. So that's a 100-foot ladder that has a bucket on the end of it. So if you saw that platform on the end, that's designed to hold people. We're going to raise this whole thing up 100 feet. You know, if you guys want, we'll raise it up 100 feet and you guys can climb up and down it a couple times just for fun, right?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of heights? Oh, okay. Maybe next time. We'll sign you up for next time. But then our other ladder truck also has a 100-foot, but we call it a 100-foot stick. Okay. So it does not have a platform on the front, doesn't have any kind of bucket, no platform. You just got one of these guys on the top holding on for dear life at 100 feet up in the air. Oh, okay. And that thing moves a lot, especially if it's a little windy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's pretty exciting. Yep. So you can't really be afraid of heights, or you just have to be able to suck it up and get up that ladder if you need to.
Or die.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
And then to wrap it up, so like, how long does it take for you guys to like properly get ready? So say you get the call, it's a fire, big fire happening. Like how long you have to like get everything together real quickly and get out?
Yeah, so every year we'll train with our gear, and the requirement is you have to get everything on. So from me standing here with my boots, take my normal boots off, to get all my bunker pants, my bunker jacket, everything on under 2 minutes. Ooh. So we'll test ourselves to get it on every 2 minutes. Now, to get on the truck and out of the station, from when that first tone goes off, it's a 3-minute goal. So a lot of times it's a lot quicker than that. Like if we're all hanging out and we're not sleeping and we're all out here and the tones go off, you can get in the truck, get out the door in under a minute. Nice. Now imagine it's 3 in the morning, you know, you got sweet dreams, you're thinking about your lady friend and you're not awake, and then those things go off and you gotta, where the heck am I? Run down the stairs, you know, get all your gear on and get on the truck.
And do it be pretty loud though? Like it was like, you know, just I wonder.
No, it's actually back in the day they used to actually have a bell, but then they did a bunch of studies because they're like, hey, that might be super stressful for people. Yeah. So they've designed different tones. Now granted, it's not quiet, like because we don't want anybody to sleep through, but they have different tones that are supposed to be more gentle, to sort of wake you up. So we don't have people with their cortisone spikes and they're having heart attacks and stuff. Sure. We don't want that, but it's loud enough to wake you up.
All right. Well, we got Chief Reese right here, and usually we always say the Allen and DJ's final thought, but we're gonna get Chief Reese's final thought. So, what's your final thought on like safety and how people can like really try to stay safe and prepare themselves, even for like a big fire or even a small fire?
Yeah, no, I think the most important thing is if you have a fire, call 911. If it's out of control, get out of the house. Let the pros show up. We're going to take care of it, but get your family out. Don't go back inside. It's just stuff. We'll put the fire out, but we want you to be safe.
Nice. Hey, and yeah, you heard the man. Call 911. Don't call us. I can't do nothing for you. But all we just want you to do is just stay well, stay healthy.
Peace.
Yeah.
I love it. Thanks, guys.
For sure.